Hello, everyone. This is Aaron Brooks with Cascade Media Group and Tech in Motion. Today, we will continue our security conversation, and we will talk about securing your work from home sessions. Right. So now everybody's working from home due to the pandemic. The things have changed. So, what can you do to make sure that you're staying safe at home? With the family, the kids, the aunties, the people stopping by, what do you need to do to make sure everything is secure? So kick this topic off. I have a good friend of mine, William Thomas. He'll be joining me and dropping some knowledge. So Will, if you don't mind just introducing yourself to the good people here joining us today, and then we'll get started into the topic.
All right. Hello, good people. I'm William Thomas, owner and operator of All Things Tech. Since 2009, I've also held a couple positions with other corporate companies. I worked for Cerner for a couple of years, and now we're a company called Shot Tracker. We do all the analytics for college basketball. We're about to break into like the NFL and MLB soccer.
All right. Yeah, we definitely need to get into that analytics piece, man. That's huge. When you and I were speaking on that, when you told me what it is, I was just like in awe, right? Just because it's so cool. We see the technology in use, we'll just say every weekend, right? Doing almost every game. And you kind of take it for granted, but when you broke it down to me, and I was like, yeah, I know somebody who do this stuff, right? It not only obviously was impressive, but it just goes to show what else you can do in technology. So just really quick, 60 seconds or less, break down your new technology adventure there.
60 seconds, that's gonna be tough, man. So essentially what we do, there's beacons that we put up in the stadium, or we call them anchors, and they communicate with the chip or that lives inside the jerseys of the players. They communicate using time. That's all they send back and forth to each other is just the time. But based off that time, we know exactly from what point on that court, how long it takes to get to that beacon and for it to go back to that chip in that jersey. Yeah. So we know exactly where they are on the court. So based off of that, and we have like 40 beacons that's constantly communicating with, we can determine like the speed of the player, how many miles that player's run. But more importantly, when they shoot that ball, we know if it went inside the hoop or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're really keeping track of. And that's the information that we give back to the schools. And that's what they want to know. Because then you can set up practices and have somebody practice and shoot. And then they can shoot the ball. And we know if you're doing good or not. And you don't need all these coaches walking around the courts. But some of these practice facilities are pretty big at these colleges, man. I've been learning these last couple of months. So, but that in a nutshell is what we do, man. We just keep track of the shots and the makes. And we keep track of a lot of other data. We're using Amazon AWS servers. So everything's on the cloud and all that information is there and it's obtainable.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, everybody. So, when you're wondering how these sports professionals, on TV breaking down all this data and statistics and then using that data to create, images, right? And just all this cool stuff that you see on the TV.
This program is brought to you by Computerized Auto Search.
It all boils down to a chip in the player's jersey, good old Father Time. So
that's the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, it's still mind blowing. But yeah, all right. So just jump back and get refocused here. So working from home and security, right? Let's just kind of talk about what that is and why people should even really care about it, right? The way I kind of look at it, and maybe some people may say, hey, well, I'm at home now. I'm in my own four walls. I feel safe and secure. So me getting online, working from home or whatever, really should not be a big deal. What are some of your thoughts on that mindset and everything?
I think for the most part, people are going to be secure. We just, now that you have more time on your computer, you just got to be careful what you're using your computer for.
Right.
I tell a lot of people, like with All Things Tech, doing virus removals and stuff, that was like one of the biggest things that we've always done and we've done for years. But like my personal computer, I don't even run antivirus on. Now, I don't suggest that everybody do that, but like I only go to specific websites, you know what I'm saying, for specific things. I don't never try to go down the rabbit hole while I'm on my computer, my
Right.
personal computer. You definitely have to be careful with that. Right now, you got a lot of things where you'll get a phone call saying that, hey, there's an issue with your computer or anything like that. And it's going to be some guy with an Indian accent and he's representing Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't call people, you know what I'm saying? They don't. They don't care to. They don't offer customer support like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to call them. So if Microsoft is calling you, you should automatically have a red flag letting you know it's a scam. But it's a good scam. You know what I'm saying? They call, they sound professional. They say that, hey, we can take over your computer. People allow them to take over that computer. And then next thing you know, they're putting software on there and they're shutting you down. It's essentially ransomware. You have to pay X number of dollars and then they'll unlock your machine for you. So you just, anytime somebody's calling you to help you, chances are they're not really going to help you. You know, so it just doesn't work that way.
So that's, you know, you actually bring up a good point. That's something that corporations, or, you know, when we talk to, you know, fellow ITers, that, you know, they may need to put a process in place that would, you know, help the people working from home know that it's really them. You know, because your job just may be calling you for a reason. You know, that's valid.
That could be a good one.
Or it could be
pull out the corporate credit card. You don't worry, you don't have to use your own card. Just pull out your corporate card and then we'll charge it and unlock your computer. We should sit down and work on that.
Oh man, start a brand new business.
Start a brand new business, man. We have to move the police or something, but we'll be all right.
So let's kind of change it a little bit. So we talked about, you know, working on a device from home. Usually there's two main modes of thought, right? Your job will provide you with a device, or you may, you know, if you're lucky enough, you may have one at the house, right? Or a tablet that you will work on. Just real quick, what are some of the things you feel people should not be doing on their work issued computer?
Definitely on your work issue computer. And I'm just going to say it. I don't know what your audience looks like, but it's extremely popular across the board. But porn, that should be something that you're definitely not doing. That's going to get you a lot of your virus stuff. Any kind of free music sites, and I'm not talking about like your Pandora, your Spotify's, those are pretty safe to use. But if you download any kind of music, movies, anything like that, anything that's quote unquote free, it's gonna come with some type of penalty. And a lot of times it'll come with, you'll get that movie, but you'll also get some backdoor software that's giving somebody access to your machine.
You want to access this greatest new music from your favorite artist, download this player.
And you get that, and then you'll start to get the phone calls. Hey, this is Microsoft, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how it happens. A lot of people don't realize it, but that's how it happens. And then also like with your emails, it may be something like that's a trivia. And that's another thing I wouldn't check from my work laptop. I wouldn't check my personal email. I would keep it purely work related. Check your work emails, because your work servers that your emails go through, they should have something that's going to filter out those bad emails. And every once in a while, something might get through, but they probably already giving you instructions on how to handle anything that's going to be phishing and looking for information and all that. So you just want to be mindful of that. Make sure that it's coming from that you know the email address that it's coming from. If it's work related, you shouldn't be getting random emails from it. So you should pretty much know, okay, this is Bob. He's an accountant. I know Bob. Okay, I can look at Bob's email. But if it's something from some other company, it's an advertisement, it's a contest you won, you should just totally avoid that. You just totally avoid it. I like stuff like that. I even avoid on my own personal machines. So you definitely don't want to do it on your work machine. Another thing to keep in mind is a lot of times your work machine is being monitored. Somebody somewhere is looking at your traffic. They know what you're looking at and all that kind of stuff. So you might not get an immediate message, but it might be a folder that somebody's building against you. You know what I'm saying? So that way you know what I'm saying, that, hey, we know you did this, this, and this on these dates. And it's just, and in this time and day, it's just not worth losing your job over.
Yeah. So let's, going, kind of going a little further on that piece. One of the questions I had for us was to talk about virtual happy hours. Now, this isn't exactly, a straight up security topic, but it definitely falls in line with what you were just saying. No personal emails. Watch your personal browsing history. Now, when you start getting invited to these virtual happy hours with coworkers, there's just, you need to treat those as still work functions.
Definitely.
I've personally have found people have gotten very comfortable in some of these virtual happy hours, doing weird stuff, sharing their pictures, picking up the computers and taking us tours of their home, showing me the front yard, backyard, all their pets, what they like to drink, and I'm just like, wow. I'm like, you really don't know me. This is work sponsored on work equipment. You know what I mean? So what are some of your thoughts on the work happy hour, this new concept?
So even with that, I mean, you brought up several key things, right? If you showing me through your house and you tell me your pets' names and I see your front yard, your backyard, let's say that I'm not the coworker. I'm the person who hacked it into this virtual happy hour. And I'm just here kind of hanging out. Because sometimes they'll get on there and you'll see where they'll jump on a virtual happy hour, or just jump on a Zoom conference at all and send say racist stuff or put racist stuff in the chats and all that kind of stuff. But let's say that you're a little bit smarter. And I'm sitting there and I'm listening to everybody chit chat and talk. And then Bob, an accountant, starts showing me his pets' names and all that. That's probably a password for something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then I take Bob's email and I start running those pets' names against different accounts. And then now I got access to something that Bob gave, and Bob didn't even realize he gave that information to me. But from a hacker standpoint, you're looking for any kind of gateway that you could possibly get. Thing I tell my clients all the time, a lot of people worry about somebody hacking into their computer. And I tell people there's nothing really saved on your computer that's of any importance to anybody. When you log into your bank account, you're logging into a website, and then that website is where all your information is hosted at and all that. Your bank information isn't on your computer, it's on that website. But if I can figure out that username and password to get to that website, then I just start cash apping myself money from your account. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or really like PayPal. I've been hacked before. And I thought somebody actually hacked my PayPal account. And it wasn't my PayPal account that got hacked. It was actually my computer. But I left, you auto sign in to log in with your username and password.
Right.
I left it in PayPal. So they was able to sign into that and then go and start buying stuff. And they about to like a $5,300 watch. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that must have been a nice watch.
Yeah, it's funny you said. I'm going through something right now with Chime, and somebody got a hold of my little account that I never really used, and went to Walmart, and now I got to fill out all this paperwork, and I'm just like, come on, people, like just look at my history. I don't even use this thing.
And that's what PayPal was really good at. When I found out, the same day I called them, they gave me my money back that exact same day. And then because it was coming from Europe, of course, you know what I'm saying, they used the euro. I had to contact my bank and let them know the dollar amount that was coming out so they could put a stop on it. But because it's the euro, it changes every day. So since it wasn't to the penny, my bank allowed that transaction to go through. You know what I'm saying? So I had to wait 10 days for my bank to get my money back, where PayPal was able to stop it and give it back the same day. Which brings up another thing. Anytime you get money stolen from you electronically from your bank account, your bank cannot charge you fees. You know what I'm saying? It's like some law that's around that. They can't charge you any kind of fees on that. So like your overdrafts, anything like that that may happen, like while this is happening, they have to forgive all of those.
Oh, that's definitely good to know.
Yeah, so it's like some kind of electronic thing. As long as the money was electronically removed from your bank account, they can't charge you any kind of fees when you dispute it because of the hackers and stuff. And it probably happens so often. That's something to kind of keep in mind. But yeah, another thing with the virtual happy hours is just flat out, like you said, it's still a work event. like how drunk or how many drinks do you want to have around coworkers? You know what I'm saying? Like, are these people that you can truly trust? You may say something. It's probably gonna get to the point where like all the movies we watched growing up, where the Christmas parties and all that stuff is happening, and
Yeah.
people, well, like if you're gonna drink and drink at your most, you're probably gonna do it at home. You know what I'm saying? Because this is where you're most comfortable at. And
Yep.
who's to say that you didn't have a couple before the virtual happy hour started? Like
Yeah.
we have one with my job Friday. I might log in, you know what I'm saying, say hi to everybody, but
Right.
just certain things we have to protect ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We judge at a higher level a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, in these corporate situations. So we just got to be mindful of that.
No, I agree with you 100%, my friend.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll just take a quick break here and pause, and we'll get back to it in a few minutes. You guys stay tuned. All right, so that should be enough for him to put in a commercial. So yeah, man, we're rolling right through it. And I'm still recording, by the way. Just a couple more questions. Online security, yeah. So really, we just have to talk about how to secure a virtual meeting session, which is really quick, right? It's kind of just make sure you have a password. It's not too much, and watch who you're admitting, what you just talked about. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of talked about the virtual meeting background stuff. The only thing I would add to that is, just be like pictures and things in the background, pictures of your family or addresses or, just don't do anything blatantly obvious.
Yeah, I was watching a show yesterday and a guy, he had a safe. In the background. So he was like, oh, you got a safe in your bedroom. It was like,
all right, yeah, we definitely gonna hit on that. So we hit on that one, and then we'll just talk about how to kind of back it up and talk about the security piece again.
So like when we do the security piece, it's like 10 steps to secure your virtual meetings. I'm gonna hit just the highlights of it. And then it's one that you want to go a little bit more in depth, then we could jump into that.
No, I think that'd be a great way to kind of wrap it up with those top 10 steps.
Okay.
So, all right, cool. Well, we jump right back in it, man. All right, you ready?
I am ready.
All right, Carlos, we about to start back up.
Action.
Right. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, we are back. So just to continue more onto the conversation, Will, we were talking about virtual happy hours, right? And being aware that you are still technically at a work function. We talked about, no personal email on work devices, because it's still work device, you're being monitored, things like that. But kind of, a few minutes ago when we were on break there, we did talk about, what's in your virtual backgrounds, right? So, or should I say what's in your background for the camera standpoint. So I think Will and I passed the test. Really not too many things given away. I mean, I have a poster, but that's pretty much it, right? You really still don't really know where I'm at. Yeah. Pulp Fiction, Samuel, doing this thing.
I just got the Pulp Fiction poster myself. Not the same one, but it's like the one from the cover for the movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
All right. So yeah. So and I think you had a great story about when people were getting on a Zoom, right, and they had the background was a little telling. So you mind sharing with our audience what you told me?
I was just watching a show yesterday, and they're doing like a virtual dinner party, which has nothing to do with anything. But one of the guys that jumped on there, they were like, "Oh man, you have a safe in your bedroom," and then he kind of looked back. And then when he looked at the screen, he was like, so they like, "Oh, we coming to your house," you know what I'm saying? So like anything that could be possibly telling, like, is this radio show, are people gonna be able to watch the Zoom, or they just listen to it?
They'll watch the Zoom.
Okay, cool. So as you can see, like in my background, there's nothing. Like everything is vanilla. There's not even artwork on the walls that you can be like, hey, I can easily identify where that is. It's pretty vanilla. If you put up a spot in your room, like a lot of people are like, this is where my office is in my house. But if you even add like a backdrop or something like that. That maybe even if you just put it up when you do a meeting,
There you go.
something that kind of blocks it out. And then if you have like a green curtain or something, that'll make your virtual backgrounds look even better because you can add anything. You can make it look
Oh
like
yeah, you get real creative.
like that. Yeah, but I would just anything because it's not so much your coworkers, and maybe it is depending on what kind of company you work for, but it's that person who hacked into that virtual meeting. They're the ones that they're looking for information. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you get some of the kids, they'll jump in there and they just want to say crazy things just for attention or something like that. But other people are actually there to listen, to try to get passwords, to try to gain access to what it is that you guys are sharing, what you're meeting about. If they can tap into any one person's bank account or anything, this is what they're there for. They're there to gather information. So you just want to be mindful of that.
All right. So, so let's talk about that. So, what are some of the things that we can do now that we're working from home to secure our, video conferencing, Zoom, WebEx, you name it, sessions? What are some of the tips you can share with the audience?
I have 10 tips
All right.
to help secure your virtual meetings because right now 54% of the workforce is working from home. So number one, don't assume users know what they're doing. Pretty much many users are new to the experience of virtual meetings and they may not know how to participate in a secure fashion. You make sure that you provide all participants with a checklist regarding equipment needed, how to prepare for meetings, and how long to log on securely, and how to prevent to behave during meetings. You know what I'm saying? Just having that, just a culture about yourself,
Right.
culture of the meetings itself. I have a friend, she owns a she owns a dance studio. They've been doing a lot of stuff virtually, and she's had several of her meetings hacked before. You know, so
Oh,
because
really?
they send that link out to so many people, and then they weren't password protecting it or something like that. And there's so many people that she had to deal with that just didn't have to deal with Zoom. And then she's dealing with kids. The kids are the ones who's getting out here to participate in these dance classes via Zoom. So she's been having a couple of issues. Number two, test everything in advance.
Yes.
That's extremely important,
Please.
especially if you're the host. If you're the host, even if you have a friend, have them log in maybe 10, 15, even 20 minutes before. Make sure everything's working. Make sure they can hear you. Everything's set up correctly. I'm going to go back to that same dance studio. I was just there maybe 2 weeks ago, kind of helping her out, where she has the computer and the monitor up front, and then she has another one in the back where we cast in that image so that way no matter where she's standing, she can see it, the kids can see her, but then she can also see the kids. It's on the other monitor that's standing in the back of the room. But we tested that out before her first class because if we were waiting to right then and there, we'd have been in trouble.
Right.
Establish ground rules. Everybody on the team should know, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to communicate. No multitasking. You shouldn't be doing other stuff while you're in that meeting.
Right.
God forbid, man, like a audio file starts to play or video plays and everybody can hear the audio coming from it. Another thing, use the bathroom before you get on your meeting.
Find the mute button.
Yeah, find the mute button. Like I've seen people do that before, and it's like that's just crazy. Number 4, confirm all your attendees. Make sure you know who's invited, so that way you'll know. Like right now in this virtual meeting that we're in, it's 2 people, but if we look down at participants and we see 3, we know we're in trouble. You know,
Absolutely.
Kind of pay attention to that. Know who's all supposed to be there. Know how many people are supposed to be there, and that'll help keep you protected. If you know you invited 10 people and you got 12 sitting in your meeting, find out why. That's something that you should constantly monitor, and it's easy to see. You just look down and you can see it on Zoom.
Right.
Follow your organization security policies. As far as like your passwords, how you guys share information, how you share links, all that kind of stuff. Use that information. There might also be policy against, because I know with Zoom, not only can the host save the information to their computer, but you can also save it to the cloud. And Zoom uses it's supposed to use 256-bit encryption, but they're using like 100 and something a little less than that. So just kind of figure out what your security policy is with your company as far as how that's going to work. You want to make sure you create a specific room. This is number 6, so we're almost done. Right here, recurring or one-time meetings, creating specific rooms for each can be helpful so that you already have the right participants added to each room that's necessary. So that way you know. Number 7, and this kind of just have to talk about this, is saying don't record the meeting. Unless you absolutely have to record that meeting,
Right.
Meetings should literally be live events, which means that they shouldn't be recorded unless absolutely necessary for future reference. If you do record a meeting, make sure that the video or link of the meeting is not shared publicly. Zoom has some technology where, let's say that you do have a meeting and that information gets leaked. They track the voice signature of every computer. I'm sorry about that. They track the voice signature of every computer so that they'll know exactly which computer leaked that information.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
Excuse me. The number 8, disable all unnecessary features. Today's virtual meetings include virtual conferencing, file sharing, screen sharing, text, chats, more. Anything that you're not going to need for your meetings. If you guys are getting together just to have a meeting, just to share that information, take out that chat. Because like I said, that's where the hackers was coming in and they're saying their racist stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Also, if you have a chat there, again, I'm figuring out usernames. I'm figuring out passwords. I'm figuring out all that kind of stuff if I'm somebody who's not supposed to be in that room. If you pick a weird username for your Zoom name during that meeting, chances are you use it somewhere else. And I'll be willing to exploit that. Limit who can share their screens. So again, this is number 9. Limit who you can share their screen so you're not getting that person to pop up and they're screaming stuff. Like, I wish my friend was here because she could tell you some stories. Like, when I say she's been hacked a good 4 times, just the stories are just like so obscure, but it's like, you know, you got kids in the room and then you got other kids that are running in here and they're screaming racist stuff and all that kind of stuff. And then number 10, finally, last thing is choosing the right virtual meeting platform. Some businesses are going to use Microsoft, so you can use Microsoft Teams. Other people are using Zoom. I'm the type of guy that, hey, whatever your company's paying for, that's probably the best one for you. When you start to dip off into your own personal stuff, you know what I'm saying, that's when you want to be protected. Because again, if it's free, it's probably not that good. And it's probably going to leave you unsecured. And then that's when you're going to have all your issues. So it's something to be mindful of, man. Nothing in life is free. And I'm telling you, if you find you a free virtual meeting software right now, they're probably fishing all kind of information from you. And I would be so scared of it. So scared.
Yeah.
Well, those are top 10 points, man, of kind of keeping your virtual meeting secure.
Yeah, no, that was perfect, and I think that's a great way to end this particular episode, man. So as always, Will, I appreciate you jumping on and kicking over some knowledge. And like I said, we have to get back together on that analytics piece soon. You know,
probably something that we could build around it to tap into that, man. Like, be completely serious.
Well, you know, we'll get together and do what we do, how we normally do it, and chop it up.
There. So.
And I'm always interested in a good business opportunity.
They're there.
All right. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, man, I just appreciate you letting me on the show. So anytime you need me to cover any kind of other topics, man, just let me know. I'm there.
Okay, I appreciate it, sir.
All right, cool.
And that'll do it for us today, everyone. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
The program is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association.